discussing the issues and celebrating the successes of the African American community. This is Another View.
Hello everyone, I'm Barbara Hamley. Welcome to Another View. Tonight we examine the issue of hair, African American hair and ethnic hairstyling, and the social and economic ramifications associated with our hair. Comedian Chris Rock recently produced a documentary called Good Hair, and it has caused some to cry foul, saying that the documentary releases secrets about black women's hair that some of us don't want others to know about. But this is Another View, so we're going to talk about it. Please welcome back to the program Dr. Freddye Davy, director of the Hampton University Honors College, Monique Francis, stylist and owner of Beauty Within, State Senator the Honorable Mamie Locke, and Robert Stitt, Jr., an in-home counselor with Inner Circle Incorporated. Welcome to the program, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. Now, before we get started on the conversation, let's take a look at a little snippet from Chris Rock's documentary.
What's your definition of good hair?
Somebody looks relaxed and nice.
If your hair is relaxed, white people are relaxed. If your hair is nappy, they're not happy.
Oh, God. This October, Chris Rock will take you back to your roots.
Just yesterday, my daughter came into the house and said, "Daddy, how come I don't have good hair?" I wonder how she came up with that idea.
Within the black community, if you have good hair, you're prettier or better than. The lighter, the brighter, the better.
They want to go like this, like Farrah Fawcett.
There's so many pressures to straighten your hair.
Look at my ring, still there.
Good hair. Who's had a chance to see it? You saw it, Monique, and you saw it. What did you think about the documentary? Did he give away all of our secrets?
Not all of them, and I didn't think what he told was a secret. I think it's pretty well known. How can you go? You go to the shop. There are the products right there in the open. So we aren't doing anything that's been a secret.
As soon as I agree. Monique, what was your response?
It was a secret, but everyone is so open with it now about the hair texture and what we're doing, because a woman will walk up to you and say, well, you know, what's that? What are you doing? And we're open with it now, so it's not a secret.
So we talk about what's going on with our hair.
Yeah.
But why is it, do you think, and Dr. Locke, I'll start with you on this, why do you think that it is such an issue if you decide to wear an ethnic hairstyle? Now, you have dreadlocks, and you've had them for how long?
7 years.
7 years, okay. Has it stopped your political career from growing?
No. My hair has been natural since I was in high school, so it was either your length, you know, or what's called the Angela Davis, you know, afro,
the big afro, yes.
you know, to the way I wear it now. So, and I take issue with calling my hairstyle or anyone else's hairstyle ethnic.
Okay.
You know, because you don't call an Asian person's hair ethnic, you know, or Caucasian person's hair ethnic, so mine isn't ethnic either, it's just natural. And I choose to use a natural hairstyle.
But why do you think it is that there is such an issue with some, and Dr. Davy, I'm going to turn to you about this, because we had this conversation in the Honors College. You all are still, and your university and others, some, not just pointing out Hampton, but are still teaching kids that as you start to go out into the work world, that if you're wearing your hair in braids or dreads or another style, African style, than as opposed to ethnic style, that you may want to change that as you go on your job interviews.
Well, let's get it straight.
Okay.
Certain majors at the university advise students that their choice of dress style as well as hairstyles needs to be of such that it doesn't get in the way of their getting the foot in the door.
Okay. Okay.
No, we're not keeping folks from wearing the hair like you want to wear it. In an honors college, I have a student right now who has, you don't call it afro, but his hair is out to here. He's a computer science major, a brilliant young man. Double major, computer science and aviation. When this kid goes out and gets ready to apply for a job, he may not be going to a company that has, quote, a conservative image. We tell them that companies have a right to have an image the way, and if the way you look disrupts that image or causes somebody to have another impression of you before you get the opportunity to show your skills. That's a problem. We simply teach them, try to get them so that they can get the foot in the door.
And then show
once you
from
get
there.
the foot in the door.
Now, Robert, you had a story because you said that you kind of chose your career partly because of the way that you choose to wear your hair.
Right. And I have to agree with you with that one because I did my undergraduate at Virginia State. And the story that I always tell people that there were two business majors on campus when they were graduating. That was my sophomore year, and they both had locks all the way down to the small of their backs. And then what I noticed, they weren't related. And then what I noticed was that a little while later, when it got close to May, their hair was like that. And and at the time, I was wearing cornrows at the time, so I approached both of them different times, and I said, "What happened to your locks? What happened to your crown?" And both of them said, in their own words, "I'm about to graduate, and because of my major, I had to let my locks go." So I said, "Wow, this stuff must be serious." So when it came time for 99, 2000, I cut my cornrows, cut my facial hair, based on their stories. And I graduated, and I had the conservative look. I had the little goatee and all of that. Applied for jobs, I still got rejected. So I just made up in my mind that, okay, I'm still getting rejected. I did everything that I was told to do, had the GPA. I'm going to look the way I want to look, and if a company doesn't hire me, that's that company's loss. And by accident, I ended up getting into the mental health field, and I've been in that field for the past 9 years now. So
has an employer actually questioned your choice of hairstyle?
I wouldn't say question, but another story that I tell people was that my wife and I went on an interview. We lived in New Jersey for a little while. Her and I went on an interview. It was an open house. A company was having an open house, and she went in one room, had an interview, and I went in another room, same position. And a couple of weeks later, she got the call saying that she was hired. And I went in there. My name doesn't look the way I look. You see my name on paper, you say, oh, okay, that's plain. But then when I come in, I have the suit, I have the locks, I use the lingo, I talk proper. So for some people, that's intimidating for a black man to come into that environment and do that. So I feel that I could be wrong, but I feel that I didn't get that position because it may have been too much for that particular company. However, working in the mental health field, especially being an in-home counselor, a lot of families, they're just happy that someone is in their house helping them with their family. So they could care less if you come in looking like some of the kids now with the mohawk and the designs and the skinny jeans. If you have therapeutic tools to help them with their family, they're like, bring on the punk rocker. That guy, I don't know his name, but with the yellow hair, he made my son get up in the morning, and now my son is not cursing me out anymore, so he's great. But the other guy with the suit, with the goatee, with the fade, with the Brooks Brothers shoes, he's a little bit too tight, and my son didn't relate to him. So, and that's another thing. A lot of times, my hair, when I go into the homes and the type of work that I do, ends up being an icebreaker. Yes. So,
Monique, you do hair. You're my stylist, in full disclosure. Thank you very much. but you do a cross variety of hair. You do all textures. You do white hair. You do African American hair. Yes. Do you notice a difference in attitude towards hair?
At first, growing up, I thought it was a difference. And as I got to know different textures, different nationalities, I think people are really obsessed with long hair. Doesn't mean if it's long, unhealthy hair, long colored hair, they're just obsessed with long hair, So to me, it is a difference. I have a little daughter, so she looks at her hair when I do her hair, she's like, oh, it's getting long. She doesn't say, no one says, is my hair healthy? It's just the length of the hair that people start to obsess with, and that's all across the board.
We seem to obsess about our hair, and I want to go to another piece of tape right now. India.Arie came out with the song "I Am Not My Hair." Let's take a look at some of the different types of hairstyles that we have.
Little girl with the pressing curl, age 8, I got a Jerry curl, 13 and I got a relaxer. I was a source of so much laughter. 15 it all broke off. 18 and I went all natural. February 2002, I went on and did what I had to do. I am not my head. I am not your skin. I am not your expectations. No, no. I am not my head. I am not your skin. I am the soul that lives with good.
What makes us obsess about our hair, do you think?
The culture we live in, the magazines, the commercials, just everything you see, anything different, it's, you know, rejected. But we want what majority rules. And even though we might have different textures or different nationalities, majority rules. So that was a part of why I cut my hair off. Because even though
you used to have dreads that were as long as Robert's, right?
Exactly. It was long as Robert's. 10 years I grew my dreadlocks, and it was just, I felt like myself, even as a stylist, were starting to go to majority rule. So it didn't become about the locks anymore. It was about it's getting longer, and everyone would say, "Oh, your hair's so long." Oh, and I was like, "Wow, I'm getting stuck in that rut."
That box.
So I'm getting stuck in that box, and if anyone knows me, I want to go outside of the box.
So you went complete opposite.
I got rid of it. I got rid of it, and and the reaction with me cutting my hair, I thought it was going to be a lot of, you know, negative connotations, but everyone says, "Wow." Majority of women say, "Wow, I would love to do that. I would love to just break out of my box." So it's, you know, I took a stand for them. So many who want to do different or different styles, but they're stuck in that box.
Dr. Davy, my sister is in human resources. She's a director within human resources for a big company in the Deep South. And she says she has dreads since 1997. And she says that it's an icebreaker a lot of times, which you mentioned. But that when she looks at someone who comes in to interview, that she's looking at the overall grooming as opposed to the hairstyle. In essence, that is what you're trying to get across to the students, isn't it?
Yes, and I want to get them across, but not always will the director of human resources be someone with dreads who would understand. It's not unusual. Things that we are familiar with, we don't matter. Let me tell you, skinheads, just the thought of the skinheads, we feared them. But now when your son cuts his off and he has a skinhead, well, maybe not all skinheads are like that. So it depends on, you just have to know or study where you want to pursue your adventure. You don't have to go there. You can find a variety of things. But now, if you want to go into XYZ, and this is the image, and this is who you will see in XYZ, I believe, gospel according to Freddye Davy, it is better to not have anything that would be a detraction from you.
But what about the people who say, why should we have to be like white people, straighten our hair, press it, curl it so that it looks more like the majority group?
I'm a Black Power generation individual. I mean, that is when I came of age, so to speak. So I've always been a nonconformist. And it never occurred to me, even when I was working in an environment that was considered corporate, to do anything with my hair other than what I was doing with it, because my position was, or my feeling was, you know, I can do this job, but I can do it better than anybody else can do it. And like you, it would be your loss, you know, if you didn't hire me. And it was never problematic in those environments because, like I said, since high school, my hair has been natural.
You know, my sister was also saying that from her perspective that there's a sense of pride, and you carry yourself in a certain way also because it shows a confidence that if you're bold enough, I guess, to wear your hair in this type of hairstyle within a corporate environment, that's a sense of confidence that goes along with the rest of the program. I see the two of you nodding.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And
absolutely.
A story that I have, going back to Virginia State, our ISDS teacher had, I believe it was a person that was in the corporate world to come speak to our class one time, and she had locks. Her locks were about ear length, But the story that she told was when she went into the company, she had been with the company for about 10 years. When she had went into the company, her hair was straight. And
she got her foot in the door, which is Dr. Davy.
And that's what she said. And me in the audience, of course, I rose my hand and I disagreed with her, what have you. But her stance was, get your foot in the door, and then once you're in, they can't fire you. So then you be who you want to be once you're in. And I heard that and I understood, but I said no. No.
Go ahead.
It's not, it's not for me.
That's not for you.
Right.
You felt like that was deceptive.
I just felt that it would be a part of me conforming and then letting myself loose.
Okay.
So
becoming the real you.
Right.
And Dr. Davy is bursting at the seams here.
Yes,
Go
because
ahead.
I want to know why you have made this a race or ethnic verse. Let me tell you, my mother had good hair.
Explain what good hair means for those in our audience who may not understand that term.
Let me tell you what it means to me.
The gospel according.
The
gospel according.
Good hair means that you can comb through it without it hurting. Bad hair, you have to sit between my mother's knees and let her yank on trying to get the comb through it, and it hurt. That's bad hair. It would have been interesting for you to have my brother on this show, because my brother has the straight, wavy hair. Needs absolutely a little water on it. I got my father's hair. Don't you dare put some water on it. Okay. This is in the same family.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not one race against the other. That's all. It's in the same family. My brother it's a shame that he got the beautiful hair, and the girl, well, I got daddy's hair. You also, and you talked about healthy, what are you gonna do with us who have alopecia and male pattern baldness? When I come out to buy hair, I'm not going and buy something that I can't walk out in the rain with and can't go swimming with. No.
But at the same time, I mean, we talk about good hair versus bad hair. Monique, I mean,
from a stylist perspective, the wavy, straight, you can get a comb through. That's the style. That's the texture that doesn't hold the style. That's the clientele that comes and sees me quite often. The coarser hair, the one that has more body, that to me is my dream hair, because I can cultivate it, move it, sculpt it however I want. But with alopecia and and male pattern baldness, that's where you have the extensions and the other options for you, and that's fine. But I want to go back and talk about confidence. How do we get with the jobs? You guys were confident coming into any atmosphere and environment you went to. Not everyone can cultivate and just is born with that confidence, because just like you said, in your family you had two textures. In families you're like, well, you have the good hair. Like, look at your hair. So you're already breaking down that person's persona and confidence of who they are. So that's a big issue.
And you have to have confidence to wear your hair that length.
Yeah, but it took me a minute to get here too, because it was just a change. No one likes change, So it was like I had to talk to myself, like, what are you holding on to? What is exactly you hold? You
have a 10-year-old?
I have a 10-year-old daughter.
And if she were to say to you, Mommy, how come I don't have good hair? How would you react to that?
I would, if she came to me and said, how come you don't have good hair? My reaction would be, you have beautiful hair. You have beautiful hair. Who told you you didn't have good hair? And she sees all different nationalities come into my salon, and she sees the fight I have across the board. The question's the same. Problems a black woman has, a white woman has too.
That's like you were over there bursting too. Go ahead.
I always hated this concept of good and bad hair, because to me, everybody's hair is good. And I understand exactly what Dr. Davy's talking about, because I've seen it in my own family too, where the curly, wavy hair was considered to be the good hair, and the coarser hair was considered to be the bad hair. But for the longest time, my position was, I want what's easy. You know, and
right.
for me, this was easy. And in a moment of insanity, when I did get a relaxer, it was too much work, you know, and I didn't want to have a whole lot of work.
And we only have about a minute left, but you still have to work at your hairstyle.
Right.
Because I think that's a misconception also, that people think because you have dreadlocks that you just let it go, and that's not the case at all.
It all depends on, I guess, the level where you are with it. For example, if you're a part of the Rastafarian culture, they believe in keeping your locks more organic. If you're in the corporate world, you may go, you know, maybe twice a month. I know for me, we were backstage and I was having a conversation with someone, and I told her that with me, I only have my locks touched up if it's a special occasion. So, wedding, Thanksgiving, anything like that. Other than that, I just kind of let mine go and be a little bit more organic, because it is a lot of stress on your hair if you go too much. So.
And with that,
I had mine done for you, Barbara.
I
had mine done for you.
Thank you.
I put the crown up for you.
We could go on and on with this topic, but we are out of time. But I so appreciate you coming. And I've worn my hair natural also for my entire life because I got tired of fighting the curl. So, you know, sometimes you just got to embrace the curl. Thank you all so much for joining me. And up next, how to get your entire family to eat right. But first, a look at what's happening in Hampton Roads. Most of us could use a little help when it comes to eating right. And I won't even discuss the things our children and grandchildren consume on a daily basis. Well, there are some folks in Virginia Beach who recently got some nutritional help and discovered ways to get the entire family to eat more healthy. As our Lisa Godley found out, their transformation all started with a 10-week program called BodyWorks.
One way to think about what's going into your body is to take an up-close look at 5 pounds of body fat.
If I can show this to some of my football players, they'd be like, nah, coach.
Thanks to BodyWorks, program participants like Darren Stallings not only get a feel for what they should stay away from, but a candid look at what they're up against. The program is designed to help parents, caregivers, and children develop better habits when it comes to eating and activities. Nursing students from Old Dominion University served as instructors during this session, which took place on Saturdays at Enoch Baptist Church in Virginia Beach.
Are the pantry and refrigerator stocked with healthy snacks such as fruit, low-fat dairy products, whole grain, and cereal bars? Who answered yes to this?
Oh, I did.
Everybody. Almost everybody.
The reason I took the course, I'm also a volunteer coach at Bayside High School and JV football, and I want to take something to my players that they could do in the off season to eat instead of getting fat, because a lot of them come back to the summer practice, they come back heavy and fat. So I wanted to take something so they could eat healthy, come back with some energy, and not be tired when we go through the 2-day sessions.
One of the most effective ways to burn calories is with exercise. And a quick line dance is something participants of all ages can get into.
Back, and bend, and swing, and right.
BodyWorks not only teaches you what to do, but teaches numerous ways to do it.
So this week, this person said, I did my 5 miles for 5 days this week and tried a lot harder to watch what I ate. I also ate more fruits and veggies. That was me. Was that you?
I have gained a lot of information. One, to make better choices, and it starts with going shopping with your family and really reading the labels and kind of looking at things before you buy them and not just saying, okay, that looks good and I'm going to buy that.
Through BodyWorks, the group has learned that little changes make a big difference, like switching from the elevator to the stairs. There are even numerous substitutions you can make with your favorite dishes to reduce the amount of fat and calories. The program, which covers all aspects of healthy living, lasts for 10 weeks, and there's a reason for that. Research shows that it takes 10 weeks for behavioral change to become a habit.
I used to eat out a lot for lunch because I have a very hectic schedule. I'm working here at the church.
I decided to start packing my lunch on a daily basis instead of going to McDonald's or Taco Bell. So pack my lunch and pack a small lunch. It's about a one serving lunch, try not to eat too much, and just start eating more smaller meals so that my metabolism can work up fast and I can burn off a little bit of this fat.
I've learned a lot, and it is helping me to help her because she's almost a teenager and she likes a lot of junk foods, and so do I, as a matter of fact. So I've learned to get healthier snacks. That way we can have the best of both.
And what do you do for exercise when you're not electric sliding?
I cheerlead for my school. And we exercise a lot. And we won first place in the competition. So it took hard work, and so we had to exercise every day.
It's a great program. It doesn't focus on fitness per se or dieting per se. It focuses on living a healthy lifestyle. This program helps you see a whole encompassed way of how you can change your diet to make you be around a longer time for your children and your children to have a long life as well.
For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.
And now WHRO partnered with the Consortium for Infant and Child Health, or CINCH, to bring the BodyWorks program to Hampton Roads. If you'd like more information about the program and how to better manage family nutrition and activity, contact the CINCH BodyWorks program by calling 757-668-6442 or sending an email to bodyworks@evms.edu. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Another View. Check us out on Facebook and become a fan. We'd love to have you. Also, visit us at anotherview.tv and sign up for our e-newsletter. And I want to wish all the mothers out there a very happy Mother's Day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time for Another View.